We're live from the Pink Short Studios here on YouTube. Today's CD, May Your Credit Card X3.13. One more day to the formula of pi 3.14. Thank you, Matar, for your pastries. Confectionery, Dave and Buster's. Today's show is provided support by the canons of the U.S. Judges. Canon 3, a judge should perform the duties of the office fairly, impartially, and diligently. The Code of Conduct of United States Judges was initially adopted by the Judicial Conference of April 5, 1973, and was known as the Code of Judicial Conduct for United States Judges. Day after Nike. Happy birthday. Today's show is provided support by Verizon Wireless. The ultimate mobile experience. Verizon. MerriweatherA.Law. Support. Get help with your bill, device, planning account, service in the apps, international services, and device troubleshooting. Only on VerizonWireless.com. Spread the best unlimited holiday deal. Shop now. 3rd, 4th, 5th. Lines are for free. $400. Savings through the 31st of January 2018. Star 2, Claire. Refi. Thank you, Bank of America. Ryan Moynihan. AT&T. Get a free LG K10 when you buy on AT&T Next with qualifying service. $50 a month. LG K10 free after $149.99 in monthly bill credits. Online only. Tax due at sale. With free shipping only from AT&T. MerriweatherA.Law. T-Mobile Unlimited. Talk, text, and data for all. One plan. Just choose your number of lines, each with unlimited talk, text, and 4G LTE data on your smartphone. With T-Mobile One, it's that simple. Only from T-Mobile. MerriweatherA.Law. I'm Canada. We haven't forgotten about you. Surprises are overrated. Take the unexpected out of your bill. Say goodbye to overages and hello to freedom. Win this now. freedommobile.ca. Have a Howard JavaScripts. Fill the card up to 40% off. Get what you really want with online savings that come once a year. Shop now. HeatherHowards.com and get a free $5 Heather Howard's e-gift card. There's a link to UV and the former CEO. Hello, Heather Howard. E-commerce, E-Verify, Aerosites, website developers. Just change your shit. We can't say that here. Let's get to our video. Let's trust Ernst.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good yellow tie.
Hope you all enjoyed your weekends.
Why the gold tie today?
Top, so we can go straight to your questions. Kevin, would you like to begin?
Josh, you have a new tie on.
Has the president talked to anyone affiliated with
Verbatim software. Truth or dare. Promise to repeat. From red to yellow ties.
Have any concerns been expressed with foreign leaders?
The president's waiting for us as well.
Or is this simply President-elect Trump's to own and for the current administration?
The whistle.
Kevin, I don't have any presidential conversations to tell you about.
Whose whistle was that?
That U.S. officials, including
Obscenity whistle.
officials of the National Security Council,
Obscenity.
their Chinese counterparts to reiterate
Counterparts.
our country's continued commitment to a one
Absolutely. One China policy.
that is based on 3 joint U.S.-China communications.
Since when our kids going to war?
Different U.S.
Yeah, when?
And of course by the
At top.
Taiwan Relations Act. This is a policy that's
Top
been
friendly
in place for
markets.
nearly 40
When's he going to
years,
war?
and it has been focused on
You've been called to
promoting and
duty.
preserving peace and stability in the Strait.
We've been called to duty, Colleen. When are we going to
Adherence
war?
and commitment to this policy has advanced the ability of the United States
You go to military suspend.
make progress in our relationship with China. It of course course, has been
Mary,
a
why
impact
did you
on
list?
Taiwan. Taiwan, after all, is the 9th largest trading partner of the United States.
Yeah,
They
they've,
certainly benefit from
we've been
peace
suspended.
and stability in the strait.
We're going to war pretty
Pursuit of
soon.
and commitment to
Good Lord.
that peace and stability advances U.S.
Absolutely.
interests. If the
If the
president-elect team has anything
president-elect
for me,
teams,
I'll leave it to them to describe.
leave it to them to describe.
Have you had conversations with the president-elect's team?
Metamucil.
Did you get the sense
Yeah.
that this call is designed to forge closer relations with Taiwan? Well, again, I think it's hard to determine exactly.
I think it's hard to explain this.
Was of the president-elect. I know both the vice president
It's very
and
simple.
his campaign manager were, when asked about this over the weekend, indicated that these were
1 + 2 is 3.
courtesy calls.
And you've made 3.
And the president-elect was merely
Yeah, you've
returning
made
that call.
the equation.
The Washington Post today
1
was a different
+
story,
2
with some
is
Trump aides
3. Well, it's
indicating
so hard to
that
understand.
this was a long-planned call.
It's
and
1 +
that
2.
this is part of a
1
broader
+
strategic
2
effort.
is
It's
3.
unclear exactly
You
what the
know,
strategic
1
effort is,
+
what the
2.
aim of the
1
strategic
+
effort
2.
is, and it's unclear exactly what potential benefit could be experienced by the United States, China, or Taiwan. But I'll leave.
You got it here
I'll
first.
leave that to them.
1 + 2 is 3.
Well, keeping on foreign affairs, what is the president's reaction to
You've got obscenity
and he put some
in the math equation.
bringing Prime Minister Renzi in for the spinal
1
official
+
visit.
2.
Is he disappointed in the results, and is he concerned that this is kind of the beginning of the unraveling of the European Union? Well, Kevin,
Well,
both
Kevin,
the president and
the president and
had quite a bit to say about this when Prime Minister Renzi
about
was
this
here at the White House back in October.
back in October,
And
West Point, Westwood.
the president at that point
Putin
indicated
give him the formula again.
that the
1
Italian
+
people would
2
be
is
supportive
3.
of the referendum and the reforms that the Prime Minister Renzi had.
Good Lord.
Didn't turn out that way.
Who needs a math class?
I would
It's simple. You just put it
painting
together.
with an overly broad brush about the potential consequences of this outcome.
You don't need a math class for that.
There certainly is a not entirely unreasonable
Basic
tendency
math.
to want to loop together
It's
the outcome
geometry,
of the UK
Mr.
and even,
Giles.
the outcome of the U.S. presidential election.
Mr. Miles, not
with
yet.
this outcome, but each of these is
They knew.
each of these
Put
is
the
different.
shapes together.
We're talking about different constituencies. In one case, we're talking about a
Selena,
presidential election.
we
In
love
other
you and your
cases, we're talking
silly.
about a referendum, only one of which actually
Geo,
had a direct impact on
Prism.
Brexit.
Yeah, Geo Prism,
So,
Selena.
there are some broader trends that are
Geometry.
worthy of,
Mr.
analysis.
Giles.
But I think it's
I think the Lafayette Garden's got it.
oversimplifying
Google, show us a Lafayette Garden.
on the outcome of yesterday's referendum.
Google, Lafayette Garden.
Since Friday, what contact has the administration had with other allies in Asia?
Lafayette
They have
Garden.
been concerned about the call.
I don't have any other
Good
diplomatic
Lord, Google.
conversations to tell you about.
Lafayette
Obviously,
Garden, White
the United
House.
States, through the State Department and other agencies, including
We got it.
from the National Security Council, is in touch with our allies, not just in Asia, but
With our allies, Mr. Giles. The only
I
way
think
to
that
go.
There were a couple of conversations over the weekend between senior U.S. officials at the National Security Council
National security.
and Chinese officials to reiterate,
Reiterate.
clarify the continued commitment of the United States to
Absolute.
a long-standing one China policy.
One China policy.
But beyond that, I don't have diplomatic conversations to reach.
Math class is in
Is there one
session.
way or the other where there were
Yeah, math class.
conversations with other allies?
I can't say one way or the
ABC.
other.
And 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And I guess I'm wondering how, with
One
the
push
battles
two.
in Aleppo being
Hey.
almost completely overwhelmed, how concerned is the White House that Nusra or other groups like that are going to step in
Any questions?
and sort of gain strength because of what's happening?
Well, I think our concern.
Well, I think our
the
concerns.
situation in Aleppo right
Simple
now
math.
is
Judge
focused
Mathis.
on the plight of
Yeah,
thousands
excess
of
math.
civilians, including children, who are caught in harm's way. And the reports that continue to trickle out of Aleppo
Extra
are increasingly
kebab.
dire.
What
The
happened?
situation there continues to worsen. And it's clear that
Yeah, extra kebabs.
while far too many innocent lives have already been lost, there are many more
And free
innocent
over-the-air
lives that are at
TV.
risk, including women and
Good
children.
Lord, your HD TV
It's a
receiver.
reflection of the depravity of
Yeah.
the Assad regime It is
and the old
reflection of
televis
the
requests.
of the Russian government and the
Good
Iranians
Lord.
to
Why can't we find this part?
risk deepening involvement
Risk.
in a quagmire.
Thank you for all the banks, Wells Fargo, Citi, Chase,
A goal of trying to shore up
Bank
their
of
influence in
America,
government.
featuring
It raises
early warning services.
a profound moral
What could you
concern.
be warning people about?
It also serves to isolate Syria, Russia,
What could they
and
be
Iran
warning people?
from basically the rest of the world, who is deeply concerned with the violence that they see continuing to be
What risk could it be?
in that war-torn country.
Raises profound moral concerns. Are any adjustments being made to U.S. policy in Syria because of
The Lord is quoting
The U.S. efforts underway right now are
the
diplomatic
groups.
solution. And what we have said from the beginning of this conflict
What could the
is that
risk
a
be,
military
Mr.
solution
Ants?
is not available. The only available solution is a
Only
diplomatic
we can cure this.
for a time. The United States, through the heroic and tenacious efforts of Secretary of State Kerry, we're focused on trying
Lafayette
to
Square,
reach a
Washington,
bilateral
D.C.
negotiated agreement with the Russians.
Lafayette
But,
Square is a
again,
7-acre
despite
public
his
park
tenacious
located within the
efforts,
President's Park, Washington,
that kind
D.C.,
of
directly north of the
solution
White House
was
on H Street,
not to be
bounded
found.
by Jackson
But
Place on
Secretary
the
of
west,
Secretary of
Madison
State
Place
Kerry
on the
has
east,
remained
and
undeterred
Pennsylvania
and
Avenue.
has continued to pursue a multilateral
Pennsylvania Avenue
negotiated
Northwest and
agreement to try to
16th
bring the
Street
violence to an end, or at
Northwest.
least reduce the
Steve
violence.
Westerberg, Washington, D.C., Northwest Savings Bank, 20001.
Allow so many
7 acres.
innocent Syrians to be in harm's way of a
Good Lord. Bain Street, Vaughn
bloody
Street,
bombing campaign. But
Northwest Savings
I'd
Bank.
refer to the State Department for an update on those
Steve
efforts. But obviously,
Westerberg.
that's something that he continues to
Yeah.
work on very diligently
Byron
because
Westerberg.
of our nation's profound
Good
concern
Lord. Meet
for
the
plight of
press.
those
Tim
innocent,
Russert.
Syrian
And the
men, women,
potato.
and children.
Mr. Potato Head.
Michelle.
Tim
Thanks,
Russert.
Josh. Among the criticism that's been out there of Donald
Good
Trump's
Jesus.
foreign policy or his contacts with foreign leaders are that he's winging it, and also we've heard that from one, I think it was a congressman,
Lafayette
that
Square,
he wants
Lafayette
a
High
war
School.
start. How seriously does the
Hello,
administration
Michelle. When
take
does this
some of these
begin?
contacts? I mean, do you think that this borders on
This
being
1
addressed?
plus 2 stuff
Well,
started
listen, whenever you are talking about the
at Lafayette
president-elect
Square.
of the United States
Thank you all for
interacting
LaFay,
with
Miss
foreign
Glenn.
leaders, it's incredibly important. It has profound consequences for our country and for our national interests
Thank you, Beverly Hills.
around the world.
You don't
You
make
talking
polo,
about
do you?
this situation. Well, let me be more specific.
More
Last
specific,
week, we had some
please.
conversations
Sure.
about a conversation that the president-elect had with
7
the Prime
acres
Minister of
of
Pakistan.
area.
And I noted in answering questions about that telephone call that
Absolutely.
President Obama, over the course of his
We're on the
8 years in
balcony.
the White House, has benefited significantly from the expertise,
Thank you,
advice,
Mr.
and
Palmer.
experience
In the Apple Computer
of
Lab.
career diplomats at the State
In the
Department.
Palms Resort. Tom Preston.
And that
The
expertise
real.
and advice is
Sally
available to the president-elect.
Salsano.
That
Yeah,
advice
Sally
will be available to
Salsano.
him when he enters
It's
the
the
office.
real without the real.
President Obama benefited
Without
from
the
it,
real.
and President-elect Trump would as well.
It's our view of the
Do you
real.
think that his contact with Taiwan
For example.
and his tweeting about China,
Volkswagen, hello.
is that dangerous?
Yeah, Volkswagen.
Well, I think what is true
German
is
engineering.
that
Google, give us German engineering, please.
there's been a long-standing policy in place.
Google, German
This is
engineering. That's
that's
what
been
comes up
governed by
here.
our One China policy, undergirded by 3
Jared
different
Hughes, does it come
joint
up?
communiques negotiated
No.
between U.S. presidents and their Chinese counterparts.
Volkswagen.
My understanding is that these,
Example.
well, the facts are that these communiques were negotiated, one
Volkswagen.
in
Example. The
1972 by
View
President
on
Nixon,
ABC.
one in 1979 by President Carter, and one in 1982 by
Good
President
Lord.
Reagan. And those joint communiques
Mr. Ernst, can you
have
confirm
guided
Sherwood's network, please?
our approach to this region of the world.
I'm going to
the
target.
Chinese
Okay.
government, Beijing, places an enormous priority
Enormous priority.
on this situation,
Arcadia.
and it's a sensitive matter
Sensitive matter.
And
We're on a curve here.
some of the progress that we have made in our relationship with China
Romney
could be undermined
can be undermined
by this issue flaring
by
up.
this issue.
It's also unclear
It's
how
also
the
unclear.
people who live in Taiwan
I worked
benefit
in
from
bankruptcy with Claire
this
Saw
issue
2
flaring up. The response from the Chinese
and
government
Boost,
in
the
the aftermath of this
prepaid.
call has primarily been to
It's all we can afford
up
is
the
a
rhetoric against
prepaid. That's
Taiwan.
all we can get. Good Lord.
and it's unclear to me
It's
how
unclear to
that
me.
kind of
Thank you, Jen Shannon. It rhymes.
consequence benefits the people of Taiwan.
It
or
rhymes
benefits
because
the
it goes
ninth largest
together.
trading partner of the United States.
Jennifer
So these are significant issues
Shenanifer.
and worthy of careful consideration.
Boy Moy.
Chinese officials
Good
reached
Lord.
out to the current administration.
The same.
For a phone call with Taiwan.
Yeah, it's the
So
same.
what does this administration say to the Chinese in this instance? I mean, what really can you say?
Favorite things, you get
What
one.
we have made
Why
clear,
can't she do
in
it?
a couple of different phone conversations
Favorite things.
is that the administration is committed to
Google.
our nation's pursuit
Favorite
of
things can do
a one
it.
China policy rooted in the three communiques.
Google said
Taiwan
no,
Relations
not
Act.
this time.
This is a policy that's been in
Oh.
place for 40 years, or almost 40 years. And it's a policy that has been aimed at
Google.
promoting peace and
Why?
stability in the Strait. And this has been a policy that has advanced the interests of the United States, both in terms of
Both in
enhancing
terms
our relationship with China,
of
and
relationship.
also in terms of
Google.
the interests
Why?
of the people of Taiwan, who happen to be the ninth largest trading partner
Why?
of the United States. So there are significant economic consequences here as well.
So in saying that, are you expressing
Google says
confidence
short
that
line.
policy will
Oh, okay, we
continue,
got
or
it.
do you really have no
Thank
way
you,
of knowing?
Google.
Well, it's the
Short
President-elect
line's the
and his team
answer.
who can speak to what sort of policy they intend to pursue after.
You gotta have a policy.
I can't speak to that.
What if we don't have a
Number
policy?
of phone conversations with
SOL.
I'm aware of two different phone
I don't know.
conversations with officials of the National Security Council.
What if we don't have a insurance policy?
I wanted to return to Italy.
Well, you don't get through. You gotta have insurance from Geico. You need a policy to get in.
And also if the administration,
Policy.
the Treasury Department or here at the White House has been in touch. The sort of financial market side of this concern.
Man country. Oh, good Lord, I didn't mean that.
Impact the euro or spark fears of a recession.
Close out of this.
Clothing.
Thank you, V Siri.
There are obviously a range of potential contingencies anytime there is a significant national election like
You
this.
go to Lafayette. You go to Lafayette. You go to Lafayette. You go to Lafayette. You go to Lafayette. Future Business Leaders of America, featuring Mr. Lewandowski. But the media said that should be a female. It's not. I'm V Siri.
Is indicative of this being the anticipated outcome. But I'll let those analysts speak to that assessment.
We love Twitter. Happy New Year, everybody.
The United States and Italy have an important economic relationship.
Happy New Year to John Sharks and the press pool.
Italy and the EU more generally.
To Italy.
Financial and economic decisions.
Absolutely.
With regard to the potential consequences for the unity.
The Reyeses, hello.
I think that remains to be seen.
Hello, Uncle Sam Reyes.
The referendum was not on.
And Buffalo ENT.
Was not a question about Italy's.
Yeah, Don's free because
EU, but, there are a range of
in the paper
consequences that I can't speak to. But obviously there are some important political decisions for
in the Hyman paper.
Italy in the near term.
We don't get papers.
Prime Minister Renzi submitted
yes, you do.
And the need to form a new government, but that's a caretaker government.
They're all opposite, backwards.
Ultimately,
you mean boy means girl and girl means boy? You got it.
Look, the United States and Italy have
an
extraordinarily important relationship.
Good Lord.
That relationship was on display when Prime Minister Renzi was here at the White House just 6 weeks or so ago.
Scott Peterson?
Obviously, there's a deep cultural relationship between our two countries. There are many.
Why are they butting us in the paper?
People who live in this country who proudly identify themselves as Italian American.
It's preferred. Why is it preferred, Josh?
Italy is critical. Italy is a NATO member.
Why is it preferred?
Important contributions to our counter-ISIL campaign, to the NATO effort
in
Afghanistan.
Pat,
And we obviously work closely and consult closely with Italy
you
as
just
we
put it
resolve
up. The
some of the
private
security
club.
concerns with regard to
Oh.
ISIL's presence in Libya. So, this is an extraordinarily important relationship to the United States
H
for our
Street
national security
and
for our
CBS. What does that go together?
that will continue to remain the case even
Yeah,
as
CBS
they work through
H
some of the political challenges that they're currently facing.
H Street.
That's about the
Steve
decision by the Army
Westerberg,
Corps to delay
Northwest
the
Savings
flood
Bank.
access pipeline for
Refund
environmental review.
denied.
I'm interested both in your general reaction, but also if the White
Good
House was
Lord.
in any way sort of in contact with the Army Corps or dictating
Lafayette Square.
decision to sort of
It's business first.
Justin, I've indicated before that the White House is being regularly updated.
Thank you,
on
business first.
The talks between
And Lafayette
concerned local
Square and
residents
the White
and
House.
federal agencies, including the U.S. Army, with regard to the
We
construction.
just want our
of this
fans to know
infrastructure
that this
project.
begins at
The White House did not has not
graduating
been dictating the
the
outcome,
8th
but
grade
rather has been updated by
with
the Army Corps
Genovia.
on the negotiations. The president a couple
Yeah,
of weeks
thanks,
ago
Genovia.
welcomed
Who's the manufacturer?
indication from the United States Army and other government agencies
Google.
to redouble their
Genovia.
consultation with those communities that are most directly
Google.
affected by the construction of this
Genovia.
project.
There we go.
This is typically
Should've
the
left
kind
him.
of principle that you would hear from conservative politicians.
But they're in
And
the
whenever the federal
paper.
government is undertaking a project that has a direct impact on a local
You get a call.
community,
You get a call. You get a call.
or
You
a
get a call.
local
You get a call. You get a call. You get a call. You get a call.
that the right to that
What is the use for
person
sitagliptin
in that
phosphate?
community should be very carefully considered.
Well, that's lunch. Oh.
There has been some criticism from
Sitagliptin
self-described
phosphate,
conservative
salt under the
politicians.
trade name Genovia.
Why they
There's
have
an
reached a
oral
different conclusion. In
anti-hyperglycemic,
this case, as someone you'd have to ask them.
anti-diabetic drug
It's
on
curious
the
to me,
dipeptidyl
but I think
peptidase
more generally,
negative
the president
4,
believes this kind of
DPP
consultation
negative 4
between
inhibitor
federal
class.
agencies and
It
local
was developed
communities
and marketed by
is
Merrick
important,
and
particularly
Co.
when a local community has such
Good
a
Lord,
significant stake
this hospital's been hating
in the
everybody.
outcome or is so significantly affected by
Affected
a project like
by?
this moving forward, and that was the case in this situation.
That was the
And,
case.
The result has been for this federal agency to determine
What street are we missing
more
here?
study is required.
You're missing H
But ultimately, that was the
Street.
decision that was arrived at by the agency in this case.
Kazakaya, good Lord.
They're obviously happy with the delay, but there's been
Kazakusko, stop you. General.
tactics that have been used by
Why are they
local
hating on us?
using water cannons on freezing nights or
Sitagliptin phosphate
what the White House is
from Merrick and Co.
the way local law enforcement has treated these protests.
Who's
is,
Rick?
And if there's been any consideration of sort of a federal intervention into
Who's
the
Rick?
interaction between protesters and law enforcement. I'm not aware of any contemplated federal
I'm not aware.
at this point. What I am aware of is the very first
George.
thing that the president said publicly.
We're
about
not
this
aware of
matter,
any George
earlier this fall.
vehicles.
And the very first thing that he said was he encouraged protesters to abide by
Today's
the
show is provided support
responsibility that they have
by
to exercise their constitutional rights to
Verizon,
protest and
MerriweatherA.Law.
they have that responsibility.
My
The
Verizon.
president also made
My
clear
Rick.
that law enforcement officials who have
Yeah,
responsibility to
Merrick.
keep that peace have a responsibility to
Everyone click the My Verizon link.
handle themselves
Show this on
in a manner
film.
that would promote
Click the My Rick
peace,
button.
and
Good Lord. Click
and
the
watching
My
these
Rick
protests.
button. My Verizon.
So
Sign
that's
in.
important.
Use your user
And,
ID.
that's
A mobile
responsibility that
telephone
people on
number.
both sides of this issue have, and the president's expectations
And
that
soon
they-
get select
those
smartphones for
responsibilities they
free.
should uphold.
Click the My Rick button.
President Rouhani said over the weekend that if
Yeah,
President
My
Obama did
Rick.
not block the Iran
And
sanctions act,
Co.
there would be a quote firm response from Iran. Wondering what your reaction to that is, and especially your level of concern, considering that the Ayatollah and others in Iran have said
Google. American
this
Co.
legislation, even though it doesn't directly impose sanctions,
Not American
itself,
Pie.
would be a violation of the Iran nuclear deal. What we made
Goodness.
clear since Congress was considering the passage of this legislation.
A teen sex
this
comedy
legislation,
written by Adam
was not
Hurst
inconsistent with
and directed by
the
the
agreement
brothers
that was
Paul
reached
and
in the
Chris
Joint Comprehensive
Welts
Plan of Action,
in their
which is
directorial
the
film
international agreement
debut.
that we're gonna run for the
It's a teen sex
We've been clear about
comedy.
that from the beginning, and that's clear today. And in fact,
That's
we made clear
Fredonia.
that if Congress
Yeah,
did pass
Fredonia.
legislation that undermined the deal, that was inconsistent with
Fredonia.
the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, then the president would
Freedom.
and given the support in the Congress for the deal,
And the CIA
there was,
operative.
sufficient political support to
Absolutely.
ensure that the president could back up that promise.
Google.
In this case, because the
Merrick
legislation
and
doesn't
Co.
undermine the deal and is not inconsistent with the agreement, the president does intend to sign it.
Merrick.
Okay. Olivia.
Thanks, Josh. I got two for you.
Google. Good
First
Lord.
one,
Merrick.
I'm trying to understand this outreach. This
No,
conversation
not
between
that
US and
one.
China in the aftermath of the
Merrick.
Ebola
Pharmaceuticals.
They know that he doesn't speak for you guys, and that
Good
you guys
Lord.
don't speak for him. So I'm trying to understand how your message of continuity of policy can get
Merrick.
across to them. They've
Pharmaceuticals.
got to know, as you acknowledged, that in January everything could change. So are you
Merrick.
promising them that he's
Pharmaceuticals.
going to see the light somehow, or what's the message?
Good
No,
Lord. We hit
there's,
the manual
there's
type
no
this.
attempt and no effort, and frankly,
We're
no
gonna do
desire
it manually.
on behalf of the president-elect. When the president-elect assumes office,
Do this to chief of staff, man. This is
awesome
just
responsibility of
ridiculous.
governing the greatest country in the world. That's something that
Do it manually. Halfway.
the assurances that we can
All right,
offer
here we
to
go. We got Merrick.
the ongoing commitment of the
Josh, we gotta go. We gotta talk to the manual way.
a one China policy that
We gotta talk to the manual
China
way.
and Taiwan. But
Exactly.
the
But the
Chinese
paper.
government and senior officials in the Chinese
Yeah, but the
government
smear,
are
because we gotta go.
sophisticated enough to
They're not doing the
understand
smears.
complexities of the U.S. political system.
They're not doing the
They
Smurfs.
understand
Good
that
lord. They don't want the Smurfs.
President Obama's ability
Paper
to
Smurfs.
set
We
our
gotta
policy
go. They don't want the paper
to the world
Smurfs.
expires on January 20th.
Expired.
Take over. Our message
January 20th. Thank you, Josh Ernst.
that was conveyed by senior National Security Council officials was intended to make
Thank you for your nefarious deal. Josh is in a briefing on this.
policy position of the Obama administration had not changed.
And could you give some flavor? We got a flavor of the speech tomorrow from Eric last week.
Thank you,
Could you
Singular
flesh it out a little bit
and
more?
Merrick,
What is the president's
AT&T.
purpose in giving this speech tomorrow? Is this a legacy-minded assessment of his?
All right, here we are. Hello, Barack.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
This is the most wonderful press
This is
conference.
Pink Shorts. Still in front of a live democracy republic exposed and approved. Thank you for running everything new state video. This is CDMAYORKREDITCardvardX3.13.
Press conference to review how far we've come over the course of the year.
We found it a different way.
Understandably, I'm going to
In the smear.
talk a little bit about how far we've come over the past 8
In the
years.
Smurfs. Yeah, in the
As
Smurfs.
I was preparing to take office, the unemployment rate was on its
We're not
way to
doing the paper
10%.
Smurfs.
Today it's at 4.6%, the lowest in nearly a decade. We've seen the longest streak of job growth
Absolutely.
on record.
Good morning, Barack.
Wages have grown faster over the past few years than at any time in the past 40.
The smear.
When I came into office, 44 million people were uninsured.
Yeah,
Today,
fine.
we've covered more than 20 million of them. For the first time in our history, more than 90% of Americans are insured.
Good lord, they make Kozar.
Yesterday was the biggest day ever for
American Co.
More than 600,000
My Verizon.
Americans signed up.
Yeah, my Verizon makes Kozar.
Signing up by the day.
That's something. Potassium
Cut our
tablets.
dependence on foreign oil by more than half. Double production of renewable energy.
What else do they make?
Enacted the most
They make Zarefish skin
system to protect consumers
and American
crisis on Wall
Kozar.
Street from punishing Main Street
They're
ever again.
helping you
None of these
with
actions
complications.
stifled growth
Good
as
lord, this
critics
state needs to
predicted.
repeal that
Instead, the stock
assisted
market has
law.
nearly tripled.
Yeah, repeal that.
Since I signed Obamacare into law,
Obamacare into law.
added more than 15 million new
More than
jobs.
50 million new
The
jobs.
economy is undoubtedly more durable than it was in
More
the past, when we
durable.
relied on oil from unstable nations and
These
banks to
Fredonia
deliver
medicines.
global money.
Everyone's just free down.
Add it all up, and last year the poverty rate fell at the fastest
Operation
rate in
Freedom.
almost
Hello.
50 years, while the median household income
Free
grew at the
down.
fastest rate on record. In fact, income gains were
Look,
actually
Sergeant
larger for
Folsom has a
households
medicine
at the
too.
bottom and the middle than
Folistum.
those at the top. And we've done all this while cutting
Subcutaneous and intramuscular use.
and protecting vital investments.
Good lord, what kind of medicine is this?
In foreign policy,
Foreign
when I
policy.
came into office, in
Gardasil.
the midst of two
New York
wars,
National Gardasil. For the human papilloma virus. Quadrivalent.
18,000 troops are down to 15,000.
Quadrivalent.
Bin Laden, rather than
Human
being
papilloma.
in charge, has been taken off the
The New
battlefield
York
along
National
with
Guard is
thousands of other
still.
terrorists. Over the past 8 years, no foreign terrorist organization has successfully executed
Hyzal is a lysotin,
our homeland.
potassium, and hydrochlorothiazide tablets. Hyzal available from My Verizon. Married.
Without going to war with Iran. We opened up
Implanon is an estrogen gel implant for subdermal use.
together around a climate agreement.
Yeah.
Very well save this planet for
All
our kids.
these drugs.
Every country on earth sees America as stronger and more
This is you and Mark Furman together. Yeah, implant
8 years ago.
evidence.
In other
Implanon.
words, by so many measures, our
Pick up
country is stronger
Implanon
and
available
more
with a
prosperous than it
prescription
was when we
to
started.
local pharmacy.
It's a situation that I'm proud to
Implanon.
leave for my
The
successor.
Furman and the
it's thanks to the
chips.
American people
Eric
for
Estrada.
the hard work that you put in,
Yeah,
the
Estrada.
sacrifices you made for your families, your communities, the businesses that you started, and
Genumet.
invested in, the way you looked out for one another.
Sutterglift in the Metformin
To
HCl.
your president.
To your president. Hello,
Of
Barack.
course, to tout this progress
We've
doesn't
met.
mean that we're not mindful of how much work there is
Genumet.
to do. In this season in particular,
Hello, how are
reminded
you?
that there are people who are
Genovia.
still hungry, people who are still homeless, people who still have trouble paying the bills or finding work after
Kitruda. We've got the
communities
keys.
that are still mourning those who have been stolen from
There's a
us by
Kitruda.
gun violence, parents who still are wondering.
MJP is in reality.
And after I leave office, I
After I
intend to
leave
continue
office.
to work with organizations and citizens doing good across the country on these and other pressing issues to build on the progress that
Absolutely.
we've made. Around the world as well, there are hot spots where disputes,
There's a next of kin.
conflicts have flared up, and people,
Oh, NASA.
innocent people are suffering
Los
as a
Alamos.
result. Nowhere is this more terribly true.
Mometasone, foliurate, monohydrate, nasal spray, 50 mcgs. Yeah, Nation next of kin. Brown Young. Nexplanon.
Is united in horror at the savage assault by the Syrian
Nuvering.
Russian and Iranian allies on the city of Aleppo. We have seen a deliberate strategy.
A ton of best in stores.
Starving.
A ton of gestrel.
We've seen relentless
Epheneral.
humanitarian
Estradiol. Vaginal ring.
entire neighborhoods reduced.
PA, hello.
There are continuing
We
reports of
knew.
civilians being executed. These are all horrific
We have a
violations
right
of
foot chop.
international law.
Waffle shake.
Responsibility for this brutality lies in one place alone. With the Assad
Absolutely.
regime
Today is
and its
CDMAYOR credit
allies,
card at
Russia and Iran.
X3.13.
Blood and these atrocities are on their hands.
Thank you, Chronicle on Ben Sherwood Network.
There needs to be an impartial
And Tory not.
observer force in
Yeah,
Aleppo
Tory not.
that can help coordinate an orderly
And singular.
evacuation through safe corridors.
Mantelia sodium.
For humanitarian aid,
And Inez
the
Monte.
United States continues to be the world's
Singular,
largest
now the new
donor to the
AT&T.
Syrian people. And beyond that, there needs to be a broader
AT&T.
ceasefire that can serve as the basis for a political rather than a
Not
military
political.
solution. That's what the United States is going to continue to push for.
Continue to push for one,
with our
push
partners
two.
and through multilateral
three.
institutions like the UN.
Buy any Samsung Galaxy smartphone on AT&T Next and get the Gear S2 Classic free. Only from my AT&T in Merrick.
Security Council to help improve the delivery of humanitarian aid to those who are in such desperate need
Absolutely.
and to ensure accountability.
Singular, Montelica sodium tablets, chewable tablets, and all granulars.
And we're going to work in the UN General Assembly as well, both on accountability and to advance a political settlement. Because it should be clear.
Because it should be clear,
Although you may achieve tactical
although you met
victories,
the president.
in the long term,
Hello, Mr.
the
President.
Assad regime cannot slaughter its way to legitimacy.
Jan, you met.
That's why we'll continue to press for a transition to a more representative government. And that's
Good
why
morning,
we
everybody.
must not avert our eyes to the terrible events that are unfolding.
Today's CDMAYOR credit card at X.3.13.
Iranian allies are trying to obfuscate the world should not be fooled.
Thank you, our first YouTube videos.
So,
We love our first YouTube videos.
the incredible blessings that we know as Americans moments.
No wonder why we have such a wonderful show, Baroque.
Even as we enjoy family and friends, and
We enjoy
of how lucky we are. We should
Viacom
also be reminded
networks.
that to be an American,
Yeah, we love Viacom
bearing
networks.
burdens of
We
being
love it.
obligations to others. American values,
We love it, you know.
ideals are what will lead the way to a safer.
We love
more prosperous,
dialysis. Who doesn't love dialysis?
both here and abroad.
Both here.
And by the way, few embody those values and ideals.
We live
like
dialysis.
women in uniform.
Davida. We'll talk about that
So I
on
just want to
X
close by wishing
14 tomorrow.
a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
You stopped it.
With that, I will take some questions, and I'm going to
Viacom
start with
Interactive.
Josh
Thank you.
Letterman of AP.
Yeah, thank you. You stopped it.
Thank you, Mr. President. There's a perception
Viacom.
that you're letting President Putin get away with interfering from the U.S. election.
You online.
And that a response that nobody
Yeah.
knows about or a look-back review.
Thank you, CNET and CBS Interactive. We'll talk to you guys on tomorrow's show.
For ordering attack. And do you agree with what Hillary Clinton now says?
And NuvaRing. Yeah, NuvaRing. In the pack. Butt us in the pack. John Thierry. He's gonna butt us in the pack.
Smooth transition of power that you have promised.
The paper.
Well, first of all,
For a country
transition